What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Paul's Best Podcast, a podcast where we talk about only the very best. This is all positive. We got a bunch of horrible shit going on in the world, but that's not what we are here for. We are going to talk about some positive stuff, and I have a positive, great guest today. We have mutual friends, and I think we've heard about each other, but never actually got to sit down and chop it up. We did a little bit, and I think you guys are going to love it. Hilarious comedian, preacher Lawson is here. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, yes. No, I learned about you before this that you're a Memphis kid.
Yeah, I'm from Memphis.
Are you a Grizzlies fan?
You know, I was, and then I moved to Florida, and I was like,
Ooh, so what? You got a Florida team?
Well, you know what is crazy? It's like I feel like my generation is not as loyal to like their fan base as they are to players.
Okay, I get that.
You know,
I also think that's like an era thing. I feel like even like because my son plays basketball and like he's a diehard Knicks.
Yeah.
But he knows every play. He knows like we were down in Miami.
Yeah.
And we're eating dinner, and apparently the Wizards were in town playing the Heat. I don't know.
Is this recent?
No,
when
this is like
Bam did the
No, this was like last week. This is like literally last week.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there, and this kid, like 6'9" kid, walks into the restaurant. And I don't know him, but I'm like, all right, we're in Miami. There's a game tomorrow night, and this kid is way too young and big and in nice outfit. Like, he just looked like he's in this. Yeah. And I'm going, I think that's. And my son was like, oh yeah, that's Will Riley. And I'm like, who? He's oh yeah, he's on the Wizards. And I'm like. But when I was growing up, it wasn't. You didn't know the other. You knew your team, and then but I think
it's a couple bigger,
like the bigger ones.
Yeah,
but now they know everybody.
Yeah, they know everybody.
They're like into players.
Yeah, no, I think the basketball right now is like so exciting because I don't care who wins. You know what I mean? You don't really care who wins. You want something to win, but like if the Thunder win again, it's like, oh cool, they won back to back. If Boston wins, it's like, oh they, Tatum, that's cool. If the Spurs win, because I think the Spurs are gonna win. You know.
Well, see, I'm a Knicks fan, and it's so.
Oh, it's frustrating.
What people don't understand is New York is a basketball town.
Yeah.
Even though the Knicks don't win or haven't won in a long time, and people think because the Yankees are so good, the streets shuts down when the Knicks are good. It's a basketball. I'm going to tell you right now, if the Knicks win a championship, the place is going to burn down. The place is gonna burn to the ground. Yeah. Like the streets flood, listen, it's gonna be NBA playoffs are fun.
Yeah,
NBA playoffs are fun, man.
Yeah. But I think the Spurs are gonna win the whole thing. So
you started real quick before we get into the best. You started everything that you did in stand up in Memphis.
I started in Memphis when I was 17. I guess it was pretty much 18.
Oh, you started young.
Yeah, I did. I started young.
I thought I was young. I started at 21, but 18 is young.
21. Yeah, 21's young, though. I mean, at least you had something to talk about.
Yeah.
Like you 21.
18 is 18 and you were a kid, man.
Yeah, I had nothing. No one wanted to listen to me, Like my first joke was, I'm turning 18 in 2 weeks. And the people cheered. I'm like, don't cheer. It means my mom could legally kick me out. Like,
yeah.
It was just dumb.
No more homework.
Yeah, I know, man. It was just,
because there's no perspective.
Yeah, there's no perspective. Yeah, I had to get my heart broken a couple times. Then I was like, all right, man, life is stupid. Like, it's so funny. I remember when I was watching other comedians and they would make fun of young people. Look at you, your eyes and it's all hopes and dreams and I remember hearing people say that, and then you get older, you do get a little jaded. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like you do, you're like, oh, I get it, because they're happy. Like kids in their 20s, they happy.
It's true.
Yeah,
there's almost like a naiveness.
Yeah.
They don't even really look at everything. I try not to be like I try to be positive, but it's funny that you said that because like I'm really good friends with Pete Davidson, and I talked to Pete a lot, and Pete got into the business when he was like 16.
Yeah, so he grew up fast.
He didn't have perspective like as much. What can you talk about? You talk about like living with his mom, his mom dating people. Yeah. But then all of a sudden you kind of live. That's what I learned. Like the better you get at stand up is when you live, and then you have something to you've been through something. Like you said, heartbreak, or like I have children. I'm married 18 years, like things like that. So then you could kind of like talk about. But when you don't have that, you got to be funny with other shit.
Yeah, but you've been doing comedy what 26 years?
Around like 25 years.
20, yeah. So what do you think where it would like click for you? I mean, I know there's a 10-year mark where you're like, okay, I kind of.
Yeah, it was actually like right around like 10 and a half years was when I was just like, because I always tell people, I was like, being funny and being a good comedian are two different worlds.
Yeah.
I was funny from day one, but I wasn't a good comedian until about 10.
Yeah.
You know, I would get laughs, but when things really clicked, when I became myself on stage, then when I really like, I remember Louis C.K. saying this years ago, where I guess he's like, when you can be the true funny person you are off stage and literally just bring that on stage and almost not have a difference. There'll be a little exaggerated difference, but like when it's really that for me was when I'm like, no, I'm going to go and say my opinion, and you're either going to come or not, but that's going to be me.
That's going to be me, yeah.
And so it really is true that the 10-year mark was something I felt like.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny, but I was on the road with Howie, and Howie's been doing it 50 years. You know what I mean? It's crazy. He's been doing longer than you've been live.
That's crazy.
You know, so I know. So like I didn't even, first of all, I didn't know he was a comedian when I first met him.
Yeah.
I just didn't know. And then like I watched him live, and he's like amazing. Like you don't think about, because he didn't have his specials really.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, you don't want a special? He's like, why?
Yeah.
He's like, why would I do this? But I get it. He just likes doing stand-up.
Sure.
But I remember him going up at the end. This is his closer. He's like, hey, guys, I was supposed to close earlier with the joke about the dentist, but I already did it. So I got to think of a joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and he just came up with something that got him an applause break and left the stage. Like, it's just another level. Like,
when you see that, like that reminded me, like I remember being at Gotham, and somebody was like, I guess I was on, and they go, keep stretching. And then they were like, just stay up. And I'm going, what's going on, man? And it was, Seinfeld was coming in, and someone was like, you got to watch this dude. And because a lot of people think it's like when you see Seinfeld, or like there were some people that are under the impression, people that really don't know, like, what's the deal with shampoo? But dude, someone's like, watch him. And I watched him, and I was just like, yo, this dude is like, he was doing this bit about how babies are here to replace us, right?
Yeah.
And it was just like and it's like really kind of true.
Yeah.
It's like the way he did it, he's like, yo, they're just here. That's the next, like they're coming, and he made it really funny, and his words were, and I'm like, yo, you know what? People don't realize, because they see Seinfeld and they see the show.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking to you're watching a master.
Yeah.
You're watching somebody that's been doing it, like you said, 50 or 40. 50. So it's just, they just have it.
Yeah, it's crazy, because I remember watching Seinfeld, and I didn't really think of him as I know he did stand up, but I would watch him at the show, and then it had me listening to, like, I remember I was just on the bus, and I was listening to like it wasn't a Spotify, it was like whatever was before that, where they mixed I forgot what it was called, but I listened to his stand up, and I was, oh, this dude is like really like funny, like, but I never paid attention to him until he popped up on my what's it called, Pandora or something like that?
Okay,
yeah, Pandora, and I was like, it was him, and it was Brian Regan.
Yeah.
And Brian Regan. I love Brian.
Well, Brian Regan and I met, and he's such a great dude. But another guy,
he's my favorite comedian.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a great dude. We had the same manager for a long time. We went out to eat. We were at a wedding together. He's a great. So you're clean. You're a clean comic. Yeah. Okay. You don't curse.
I don't curse. I didn't start cursing in actual life until 2020, which is funny. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, it's funny, right?
I had because now that I was thinking about, like, you know, some of the clips I saw of you, and I was like, man, this dude's funny and doesn't curse, and that, you know, that's Brian Regan. Another comedian that people don't know is a monster at stand-up. And you're probably, when I say the name, you're going to be like, oh, I don't know if I ever thought of that. But this dude in the 90s would get on stage, and all the comics would run down in the back of the room and watch him. And he did his first and only special at the Cellar, is Ray Romano.
Oh.
Yeah. So Ray Romano, dude, that dude, you know, he was in the era. He came up with Regan. Like, that's the same class.
Yeah.
Which you're talking like 40 years. And, dude, Ray is a monster. And I was talking to him one night, and he's like, yeah, people just see the show. But a lot of people, young people, I remember seeing Ray get announced at the Cellar.
Yeah.
And half the place went nuts, and the other half were like, why is everybody, because it's that, you know, the show's a long time ago.
Yeah.
But Ray's a monster. Like, when he talks about it, like, Ray is, if you watch Ray Romano stand up, yeah, but not fully.
Okay. Howie's not clean.
Well, you know what? Ray is like, I'm like an edgier, dirtier Ray, where like people say, they're like, yeah, like, Paul, you curse, but I don't, like, I'm not filthy curse.
Yeah.
But I will curse. And one thing that I'm trying to do, and it's kind of funny that I have you on the show this episode, is because I was like, not that I don't want to, but I want to really tone it down to where like when I do it, it's when I really like, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to, I listen back sometimes and I'll be like, okay, that was actually really good. My mom's big thing. Like my mom will say, Paul, you got to stop.
Yeah.
Like, you're funny, I love you, you got to stop cursing, you know?
Yeah, it's a mom.
And then, then she said to me, and I'm just being honest, she's like, you know, you talk about, you know, your belief in God. I believe in God, you know, you know, and having a relationship with God and praying and all that, and you know, and she's like, you do that, but then you go on stage and you curse. And she kind of made me think, and I was just like, yeah, and then I'm like, but in my mind, I'm like, oh, certain things I gotta say a certain way, but like I definitely want to, like, wanna just, you know, watch it. Yeah, you know what I mean. But I my personality, because you know, you chop it up with friends, talk sports. I can't, you know. Sometimes I'm just, but that's really cool that like, because you're as funny as you are.
Yeah, well, my last special, I talked about sex and alcohol, and you know what I mean. Like I talked about these because I'm a grown up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
But you know, I have experiences. But like, you know, I talk about that. But it was just kind of like the first time I went to do stand up, my mom brought me to my, you know what I mean? Like, so I was like, I had one joke, and it was like about masturbating, and then I remember my mom brought me. I was like, well, I'm cutting that joke. Like, I'm cutting that joke, and I just kind of like, she kept bringing me to these places, and I was just kind of like, all right, I'll just do this, you know, like, so, but.
Well, dude, speaking of like, you know, Brian Regan, I remember he's so good and so funny that I remember back in the days, a long time ago, I got first class for the first time.
Yeah.
Like this, I was a young comic.
It's crazy.
And I got bumped up. And when you go to first class for the first time, right, your life is like, I can't believe that this is a thing. And I can't believe how bad they're treated compared to here. And I was going to do a joke about it. And then I was like, somebody had to touch this. And I typed in like comedian talks first class. And it's a 7-minute bit by Brian Regan. And dude, preacher, when I tell you a minute 20 seconds in, I'm crying. I'm crying, like the way he goes, bring me the head of a pig, with a thing. And he was talking about like drinking like out of a goblet, and the way he goes, get back there, piggies. And dude, he just in the Brian Regan way. And I'm crying, laughing. It's 7 minutes, and I was like, I will never do a bit. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's clean. It's perfect. But he's somebody that will make you cry, laugh, and you don't even realize it. And he's just like super clean. But also there's a weird thing though about clean comics is like a lot of times they're rapists.
Oh, hold on.
No.
Okay.
No, that Bill, like when you see like Bill Cosby, and then there was a guy, what's his name? Vince. There was a guy, right? He was cleaner than Cosby. And there's an old story. I'm not even gonna mention the name.
People always do is they be like these clean comedians. I was like, I think it's just dudes. Like I think dudes are just bad people. I mean, not all.
No, but you know, it's kind of weird where I was just like, I do hear this, and this is real shit. I don't want to mention names, but there are comedians that are super clean that you find out off stage they got anger issues, but this one dude, right? They said so clean. Okay, like cleaner than Cosby. And he was a serial rapist. So you know how they caught him? They looked at his college schedule, and in that town, a girl. So he would do a college, and in that town, he was raping women, and the guy ended up getting like 30 or 40 years. But he was like, and they were like, his act was like 8-year-olds could watch. And I was like, what? And I was like, that's kind of weird. That somebody will be like that, like no, you don't curse on stage.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
Where are these bitches at? You know?
I mean, hey, where they at though?
What's the college demo like? What's
with
the
consent?
No, that's cool though, man. And I saw you had a really really fun set on Tonight Show.
Oh,
did you do a couple times?
I did a few times. Yeah. First time I did it, it was fantastic. And then the second time I did it, I think it was how many times did I do it? I did it, the second time I did it was, I think it was terrible. I think it was bad.
What was the difference?
Oh man, I think because I had this joke where I did my special, but I would say I'm single. And anytime I say I'm single on stage, there's always someone that's like cheering.
Woo!
Yeah, woo!
Shit like that.
And then I'll just reply like, I'll wait till the lights come on. You know, and then it gets a big pop, right? So I was gonna do that on Tonight Show. I brought my mom. My mom's everywhere. I brought my mom.
That's great.
I said I'm gonna say I'm single. Yeah. No one's gonna cheer because it's a trained Tonight Show audience. So I need you to yell out and cheer. No one's gonna look back and be like, is that his mom? Like, no one's gonna know. You'll be off camera. Just when I say I'm single, just yell. She's like, I got you. I'm like, you're not gonna do it. She's like, I got you. I was like, all right, cool. So I go on and I'm like, yeah, I'm single. I hear nothing. And I wait an awkward amount of time. And then I hear her, woo. And I'm like, dude. I knew you weren't going to do this in my head, right? And it threw me off, so my jokes started going out of order, and then I just started switching. I was like, okay, well, that was awkward. I can't say. So I'm just like, I'm single.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm single. And I move on, bro. And it was so bad. It was terrible because I was doing jokes. I missed tags and stuff, and it was just like a bad set. Then I went back and it was good. It was fine. I went on my third show.
Well, you know what's funny that you said that, because I was telling somebody last night I was at the stand, and I was just running, just trying to stay fresh when I'm not on the road. Yeah. And I just I missed a tag because I just came back from vacation, and it pissed me off because I don't like that. Because usually I'm like, I could be off stage for a week or whatever and just go right in. And which
is impressive, because if I'm off stage for a week.
Oh no, pandemic taught me.
Yeah.
Because pandemic, there was 5 months, and then I actually went to Arizona and headlined. And I remember the first set was even less rust than the second one. Yeah, the first one, after 5 months, I was just back.
Is that the longest you ever been without being on stage?
Because I got COVID early. I got COVID before anybody. I got COVID I got COVID when it dropped.
It's real.
I got COVID when it dropped.
Yeah. People didn't believe it.
When I lost sense of smell and taste, it wasn't a diagnosed. It wasn't a diagnosed symptom yet.
Oh, so you thought you were tripping.
24 hours after, I actually found out from Rudy Gobert on the Utah Jazz. That's how I found out. So remember, Rudy Gobert got it. He did that thing. Yeah, people got mad at him.
Yeah, people got mad, which is crazy. It's
I would have this cough, real bad at night though, just at night. So I told my wife, I was like, I'm just gonna go in the guest room because something's wrong. It's like I'm getting these coughing fits. Now, luckily, I was able to breathe.
Yeah.
But something was happening that was different. And I'm like, oh, hospitals are filling up, ventilators. I started freaking out. So I'm just up there, sitting up in the guest room, and something was off. But this is so early on. Preacher. This is weird almost. And then what happened was, I'm looking at my phone, and Rudy Gobert said, I want to thank everybody for the thoughts and prayers about what's going on. Quick update after 4 days of the diagnosis. Everything, the only weird thing is I have no sense of smell and taste, right? I walk right to my kitchen, and I take one of my wife's candles, and I smell it, because, a scented candle, I don't smell it. Then I go into the liquor, I find a whiskey that's really strong.
No.
I smell it, I don't smell it.
Do you taste it?
I don't smell it.
I would have.
Well, but you know what's funny? That night we had wine, and my wife goes, "This is a nice red." And I go, "Nah, it's not. It's not really." And she's like, "What do you mean?" So I started putting two and two together. I wake my wife up at 3 a.m. and I go, "Babe, I got it. I got COVID." She's like, "What are you talking about?" I go, "I can't smell or taste." And she goes, What are you talking about?" And I go, "Rudy Gobert, the center of the Utah Jazz, just said." And she's like,
"You don't want that."
She's like, "You're waking me up to tell me the center of the Utah Jazz said he can't smell or taste." And then the next day, out of South Korea, they started saying, "Oh, that was a symptom." But I got it so early, so I was able to go out on the road when it was I remember CB.
So you were at COVID and you were on the road.
I went on the road when I got rid of COVID.
You were doing the Rudy Gobert.
I was, yeah. But they were 25% capacity, 50% capacity. So I went out and I did it.
Yeah.
And so I think I did a lot of stand-up during it when I could, because I had you couldn't get it from me, and I couldn't get it again, or at least we thought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, the longest that I went was 5 months without being on stage, and or whatever it was.
How'd that feel?
And then dude.
Because I felt when I went 2020, when I went without stand-up, I felt the first couple weeks I was like, what am I gonna do? And then I was like, oh, okay, I'll just do this, I guess.
Yeah. Everybody was
I don't
am I gonna do this? Right.
Yeah.
I was like, can I do this again?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get up there and you're like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, because we've been doing it so long, that's the thing.
But I was okay with not doing it. I was so obsessed with stand-up. I was like, this is my life.
Yeah.
And then I stopped doing it. And but I guess you got a wife, you got kids?
I got kids, and that's actually smart that you said that, because that's what I felt like. I was like, yo.
Yeah, probably kids, right?
I used to leave my house on a Tuesday night, like leave the dinner table at a Tuesday night to go make $30.
Yeah.
To go to the cellar or whatever. And I'm like, what am I? Yeah. So it kind of like let me realize that people were on this like hamster wheel.
Yeah.
And we're doing this. And now like it woke me up and go, no, my life is this. The family.
Your family. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the family made me go. And then I realized, oh, I'm better now. I was almost better.
Yeah.
Like, because when you're just constantly, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, you're almost forgetting what you were doing.
Yeah.
And then you live a little, and you're like, oh, like now, and it took it to another level.
Yeah, that's good, because I think I was like, unhealthily obsessed with stand-up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was like, this is my life. And then 2020, I was like, bro, this is like a part of my life. Like, it's a thing.
Dude, I can't believe you just said it. That's one thing that, I don't know if it was Regan or Ray, but it might have been both, but we talked about that, where it's just like, especially with my old manager, we talked about it. I was like, no, comedy is not who I am, it's what I do.
What I do.
And that's when it becomes who you are, you're almost like losing focus on what's important.
Yeah.
The crazy shit is when if we're being real here, like these hospice nurses, they all say the same thing when somebody's dying. And they literally have days left, hours left, and that like the one thing that they all say, that everybody dying says, they're like, I wish I would have not taken jobs and work, so I wish I would have spent more time.
Yeah.
And like that makes me go like, so when I go away with my family, instead of being like, oh, I need to be on stage, I'm like, no, I'm gonna take this in, and then when I go on stage, I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
But then, but if you are rusty or you miss a tag, you're like, man, but then I'm like, I'm gonna take it out on the next crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To get back. No, man, you're an insightful dude, man. You kids? No kids?
No kids. I don't know if I don't know if I'm jaded, but I mean, I always wanted kids and I always wanted like a family, but I don't know if I can I don't know if that's something for me.
Well, this is what I could say, and this is my advice, is don't think that will ever deter you away or from what you're doing in comedy, because a lot of people would tell me that, but I don't know how you did it. It's like, no, man, like I don't know how I could have done this without it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people think like, oh, I'm business focused, I can't have kids. It's like, no, you can.
Yeah.
You can. Like, so I don't know if that's what your thing is.
No. One of my friends told me, he said, don't ever let your career put your life on hold.
Yeah.
So like I agree with that. Like if I meet someone and I want to be, I want to create a family with them, I think that I would love that. I would love to like meet someone and create a family with them. I just don't think, man, it's just like I do not think I am in a position to, do that right now, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, it's one of those things where like something it would just have to happen.
Yeah, it just got to happen.
Yeah.
How'd you meet your wife?
Oh, I knew her forever. Yeah.
Wow,
I just
it
just kept popping up into my life.
I had good ones, and then I ruined them, and then now it's like I just keep getting these other ones.
Yeah, 'cause you probably had them when you
when I was younger. I had them when I was younger, and then I got older, and now I'm jaded.
Yeah. You probably it's almost like you should have met him now.
Yeah. That's what I'll be thinking. I'm like, man, all these women that I dated, I'm like, check me out now. Yeah. I'm on fire.
I was immature then. I'm good now.
Yeah. I know myself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, but you will though. That's God, in my opinion, God's plan.
Yeah.
So I don't know if are you religious or no?
Well, I used to go to church when I grew up, like 8 days a week. But I don't go to church now, but I still meditate and pray.
Yeah. I don't really go to church 8 days a week. Some people,
we used to go a lot, man.
Oh, yeah.
Because we would go sometimes twice on Sundays, because we go we go, in the morning and then at night, and then we go on Wednesday.
Grandmothers be going like they live.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna stay here because we're gonna be here tomorrow. So I'm just gonna be in the back, sleeping bag. But
the priest is rolling their eyes again.
Yeah. What y'all doing
Save
here?
Save room
man?
in the pew.
I want to go home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's people waiting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Preacher Lawson is my guest on Paul's Best, and what we are going to do today, we talked about it like we always do, okay? And the best of what we're going to do today is eras of music, which I love that idea. When you said that, my eyes lit up because I was like, man, like watching social media clips and watching all these things on our phones, which we're way too into, songs pop up that you're like, oh my God, that song, that 90s song, that 80s song. You're a little younger than me.
I am.
So you have a whole thing. So let me ask you. I'm going to ask you right out of the gate. What is your go-to? Like when the jam comes on, is there an era of jams that are like, this is it?
Okay, so it's weird, right? Because I think Stevie Wonder, Keys to Life.
I love Stevie
is
Wonder.
like probably the greatest one. It's just one of the greatest albums ever. You know, it's too many albums to be like, this is the greatest. You know, I do think As is the greatest song ever.
Okay.
But that's in the 80s. I would say 90s. I'm an R&B fan, really big R&B fan.
Me too.
The 90s R&B is the peak.
Yep.
They had some really good 2000s. And even 2010s, the 2010s, right? You know, it was all right, but now it's over. It's over.
Yeah, music is different, man.
It's too much. It's too much.
It's too much.
It's not as special.
No, I'm doing in my joke how me and my wife were making fun of my son because my son is really into Travis Scott.
Yeah.
And I like Travis Scott.
I like Travis Scott,
Travis
too,
Scott
yeah.
has its own. He kind of has his own genre of music.
Yeah, he's good.
But there's a lot of auto tune and weird. Like I almost feel like Drake. They say hip hop, but I almost feel like Drake is a little R&B. Like he's not.
Yeah.
There are certain songs that are hip hop, but when there's a lot of Drake when you listen to it with the thing, it's like it's kind of like a 90s R&B.
Yeah.
Because the rap that I grew up with was rap.
Yeah.
It was Nas, it was Wu-Tang, it was rhymes. It was rhymes.
Yeah,
it was straight up rhymes. Where now I feel like there's a lot more like, singing in between and all that.
Yeah.
But I do like, so what R&B do you like? What's your R&B? Like, were you like?
Listen, the guy that peed on people, he was really good.
Oh, yeah.
Like he was really good, man.
Yeah, I know.
But I like, Brian McKnight. I like, I think he's incredibly underrated. I think that it's weird because it's not, Boys and Men,
What's the Man Killer?
Yeah, Boys and Men, But then it's like, Whitney Houston in the 80s.
Oof.
Luther Vandross has probably the smoothest voice of all time.
Stevie Wonder is in my list, man. Stevie Wonder.
Of what? Top what?
I mean, Stevie's just one of the. Yeah, he's in the top. Like, he's in. But like, I also like.
He's top two for me.
I also like Phil Collins. You like Phil Collins?
Yeah, Phil Collins. Yeah.
Phil
Absolutely.
Collins is crazy, man. When you listen to Phil Collins, it's funny. In high school, I had Phil Collins' greatest hits CD in my car. My friends would laugh at me. I'm like, yo, don't listen to it.
Yeah.
Phil Collins. I'm gonna say this, okay? I think that the heyday of hip hop, in my opinion, was 91 to 96, 97. But if I had to go back and music-wise that made me feel something, man, I feel like it's 80s bleeding into 90s. I would say mid-80s into mid-90s, that 10 years, if I had to go like 85 to 95, 96, that's a crazy era of music.
It was just more poetic, right? It was more poetic. Like
Keith Sweat, remember Keith Sweat?
Yeah, I remember Keith Sweat, But like, like that Whitney Houston, you give good love to me. It's like, that's sex. You know what I mean? Baby. Like she's singing about sex, but she don't say, Like if they were singing it now, they would just say what they do, what I mean? You give good, like to me, like it would be very vulgar, it's not as smooth.
Back then they insinuated.
They insinuated.
Now they just say
in the music video. Today they're gonna be showing what they kind of love they give, So I just like the poeticness of like they would, you would kind of guess, like now.
That reminded me. Remember the Wayans Brothers? Don't Be a Menace.
I never seen it.
You never saw Don't Be a Menace? All right. Yeah, he goes, man, freaks getting busy on the dance floor. And it was literally two people having sex.
Oh, man.
They just took it to a whole lot. Oh, dude, that's a good spoof movie. But no, man.
If I feel like I watch a movie like that now, it wouldn't be as good because people already stole the things that they did. And then
they did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I watch them, I'll be like, oh, I've seen this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I see. That's why like a lot of times you'll watch a movie and it's like, it's not an old movie and it's not as good because people seen it do well. So they're like, oh, we're just going to steal it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did watch White Chicks like that, and I was like, okay, this holds up.
That's hilarious. The White Chicks hilarious.
It's so funny.
No, the
man.
Wayans Brothers, they ruined Scream for me.
Oh,
the
really?
real Scream.
I know,
because the horror, like when I see the scene, I'm like, I can't. It's just too good. But actually, speaking of that, like remember like Old Nelly?
Yeah.
Like you know.
He was singing.
Like country gram. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But like, yeah, I feel like they really didn't mean, I don't know, like it just, it hit I don't know, it hit you more. But are we old? Like maybe I'm just old.
No, that's what I was saying. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I don't want to be like, oh, but music back in my day. But I really do feel like music is becoming, it's happening with stand-up, honestly, where it's just kind of oversaturated.
100%.
Where it's like, people are just like, I mean, listen, it's not, it's like, I don't want to be negative about it, like oversaturated, because like maybe it's just evolving, right?
Sure.
So there's different genres of music and there's different genres of stand-up, but I do feel like people are just doing stand-up. You know what I mean? Like they're just doing it.
It's too much. They're just doing it, and if I'm being honest, and it's not a knock on them, because if people watch and they get numbers, good on them. But if the quality's down.
Yeah, for sure.
The quality,
I would say that. I would say the quality is like.
And that's not hating ass shit. That's real. The
Yeah.
quality is down because when you have too much quantity, the quality goes down.
Always.
And you know, now the good news is the cream rises, and the better stuff, like when the better clips are gonna be, people are gonna be like, but like when everybody's doing it and everyone's like, oh, where you from? Florida? That's trash. You know, and it's like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, look at this guy's shirt, clip.
Bro, sometimes they say that too.
Yeah.
Clip it.
My man thinks he's in Hawaii, and then you see the shirt, and then you see the shirt.
Yeah,
it's
like a jersey.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's the Jets jersey.
The Jets suck.
Clip it.
Going back to music, you know what's underrated era is the Motown.
Yeah.
Motown, dude.
Yeah.
That was that real chill
Yeah.
kind of Motown. You know, like I'm late 70s baby, right? So for me, I can't act like I know the 70s, but I will tell you, like the 80s for me, music really felt, because music in the movies hit, like the Phil Collins, the Whitney Houstons.
Yeah, I remember that. Like in the movies, it would be like, if it was in the movies, that would be like the thing.
Do you remember there was a show called Miami Vice, and it was with Don Johnson, and his partner Tubbs, and they're in Miami, and it was all nice suits they wore, like dope color Miami type suits.
Yeah.
And there was a scene, and I think it was like one of the first times it was done, and it blew people's mind. There's a scene where
Don Johnson. Was this on USA?
Well, I'm sure that but no, back then it was like the biggest show, so it was on network.
Okay.
But then the reruns and stuff were all over.
Okay, cool.
And it was called Miami Vice, and they would be they're in the car. There's a scene, and this happened in the 80s. It blew people's mind, where they're loading guns, and it's like the sound is off. The sound is like everything is, and they're in a convertible with the top down, and they're in Miami, and you see the lights of Miami, and they're loading shotguns, and they're loading guns, and they're about to go do it. And In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins is just playing.
Yeah.
And I just got the chills. And the first time, and they're not talking to each other. They're locked in.
Yeah.
Because they know they're about to go to. One of them could be. They're about to go.
Yeah.
And that song was playing, and it was like, I'm gonna show it to you after. You're gonna be like, yo, and it's just like, oh my God, like, and that was like, those were the times where like music would make a scene in a movie. And this is my thing. I don't know what people think. Some people could say the era of the 80s, but in my opinion, a scene in a movie, when a movie was scored with music, for me, scenes in movies and television, there was no better music that made that scene and enhanced that scene like the 80s.
Yeah.
Like the 80s. There were certain things where I was just like, there's been some cool ones in the 90s and the early 2000s. But as far as like, oh shit.
But also movies aren't, they're kind of, look, there's always going to be movies the same way there's always going to be plays. But I do think movies are the new plays. People aren't watching movies. You talk to kids, they're not watching movies. They watch TV shows.
Yeah.
But they're not watching movies.
No.
You know, so it's like, it's kind of like end of an era.
It's funny you say that, because my hero is Eddie Murphy. Yeah. And Eddie Murphy did a movie with my buddy Pete.
Yeah.
And on Prime. And like, people don't even, like, that's the thing. It's like, back in the day, if Eddie Murphy did a movie, if anybody did a movie, you're like, yo, everybody's online. And now it's like, and that's why, that's the thing about Marvel movies. The reason why is because Marvel movies, they kept making them because people went.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to, nobody's really going to, and movies aren't like, I know we're all over the place here talking music and everything, but movies aren't original anymore,
Yeah, I mean,
Jordan Peele.
yeah,
That dude.
man.
That dude's making original movies.
Yeah.
You know, Get Out was incredible. It was the first time. It was one of the last times I was in the theater going, whoa.
Yeah.
But they don't make now. It's like, let's remake this. Let's remake that. Marvel
because that
this.
makes money, right?
Hulk, fucking Iron Man. Yeah.
It makes money.
It makes money. It makes money. But
they don't take any chances on that. I think they didn't. Like, I mean, there was a there was a director. I'm not gonna say his name, but there was a director that does they do a certain type of movie, and people always kind of trash it. But that movie has that series has a following, and then they tried to venture out and do something original, and it was original. They took a chance, and it was pretty decent, but it didn't do well.
Right.
So they're like, all right.
Let's go back to
Let's go back to what? Yeah, exactly. It's what y'all paying for.
It's kind of like when a musician tries a different, right? Like a musician will try something and like it could be good. Like,
but people are like, we don't know you from that.
But you're right.
Yeah,
It's
like if I just went out there and I just did the dirtiest comedy special. I think that'd be funny.
I actually always thought about doing a special called Paul Virzi Clean Up Nice.
Yeah.
And where I'm just like,
you should.
Where I'm thinking about like Paul Virzi Clean Up Nice, where I'm like dressed like not so different, but like a little more, and just do my thing and be as funny as I could be without cursing. And I want to do that.
Yeah, that'd be dope. I remember Steve Harvey did that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he kept saying like, I gotta be clean. He kept trying. I'm fighting.
Yeah, I'm trying.
And it was great. No, you should do that.
I'm trying to think of early 2000s music wasn't bad. Well, you know, Kanye dropped, I think, was it 06?
Yeah, man. I didn't. Yeah.
03, 06.
I didn't even.
College Dropout.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a big one.
I didn't listen to that.
You didn't listen to it.
I'm sorry. And a lot of rap, I know I'm black, but I didn't listen to a lot of rap.
I'm black.
The rap I listened to, it wasn't Kanye. It was like South. Like, I like the way she rock her hips and wave. You know what song?
Oh, so you
look
like
at them hips.
T.I. guy? You like T.I.?
But see, I did not like T.I. I mean, respect. But I like T.I.'s like major hits, but I didn't listen to his albums.
Sure,
I listened to like Lil Wayne, like his mixtapes, you know, The Drought.
What about Outkast? You like Outkast or no?
See, I always thought Andre 3000 was the greatest rapper ever, but I didn't really listen to his album. You know what I mean? I just listened to like the main ones.
Yeah.
But the songs it's so crazy. I'm like thinking about it now, and I'm like, I was listening to like, just like, you know, like. What's his name? Something, I forgot their names. Snappy, what's his name? Something Snap. I don't know, just Southern music. Let me see. Hold on, because I know these people. Okay, hold on. I used to listen to just Southern music. If I put in Southern music 2000, Southern music 2000, early 2000.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones in the early 2000s, for real.
Like Project Pat, 3 6 Mafia.
Oh, 3 6 Mafia, yeah.
Like Trick Daddy. You know what I mean? Like I listened to like Yo Gotti. I was in Memphis, Yo Gotti.
Oh, yeah.
I used to listen to a lot of Yo Gotti.
Remember 3 6 Mafia won an Oscar, and Jon Stewart was hosting, and he goes 3 6 Mafia 1, Martin Scorsese 0.
Oh yeah,
because they won for there was a song in a. But you know what's funny? When you go back, like our grandparents.
Yeah.
It was like not like Frankie Valli or like who's the dude La Bamba, rest his soul, Richie Valens.
Yeah, I don't
know
who that is.
Yeah, it was just like it were all these like, oh Donna, and they'd be like, yo, that's my. Because in the 60s, 50s, 60s, it was very kind of like, and then I think like 70s was like, I think they called it like, I don't know, groovy or whatever, and then 80s really, you know, because 80s did, whether you liked them or not, like Madonna. You know, there was some really big Prince.
Yeah.
You know, Prince, Madonna, and let's not forget Michael Jackson. I mean, you're talking about the big.
That movie coming out, everybody gonna watch that.
That's gonna be big.
Everybody's gonna watch that. Yeah.
But like, if you think about Madonna, Michael Jackson, and Prince in the same decade,
that's kind of crazy.
That's actually crazy because you're talking about 3 of the biggest iconic musicians in history, and I would say all of their heydays were the 80s. So there's got to be accounted for. You know, so that's why for me, I give the edge to the 80s. I know people listening to this.
But hold on. Who is the Madonna, the Michael Jackson, the Prince of the 90s?
That's a great question. I would say the Michael Jackson of the 90s.
Probably still Michael.
Michael probably for a while.
Janet Jackson?
Usher?
Oh, yeah. Usher was 2000s.
Was Usher 2000s or late 90s? I think, no, his first, I went to college.
He didn't blow up like that.
No, his first hits were like 98, 99.
Yeah.
And then I think he became that in the early 2000s. You're right. Janet Jackson had a moment in the 90s, which was real big. Actually. But Michael's still in the 90s.
Yeah,
he was still, because, I think did he die in the early 2000s?
Yeah, I think he died 2003
or something?
No, he died 2009.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was still Michael in the 90s then.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who, like, the Madonna of the... I think we should say who was that of the 2000s.
Okay, cool.
And
So Usher?
Yeah, could have been Chris Brown till he lost his,
It's crazy how big he was until he and people still don't forget. Like, I randomly looked at his comment section, and I think people still like kind of going in on him, or maybe it was like something that he was tagged in.
That's the longest hate comments. But look, that's a tough one to shake.
Yeah, I
mean, it's not like a joke. It's it's not like a bad bit someone did, or it's not like an insensitive bit. That'll go away. That's just not going to go away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say like Usher would be like kind of the new.
Hold on. Have you seen that meme? You probably haven't seen it. But there's a meme where it was on Joe Budden's podcast, and there was a guy that was, and I think Joe Budden was like, "There's no reason to hit a woman," and his guest was like, "Well, you seen that meme? You ever seen that meme? You ever seen it? Oh my gosh, man,
that's funny."
He goes, "Well, let me pose to you this," and then he goes, "If I'm talking and I tell you to stop talking, do you think it's wise to keep talking to me?"
There's always that crazy. There's always that.
Yeah,
there's always that one dude who's like, "Well, hold up a second. What did she say?
What did she say
to make him?" And you're just like, you just look at that dude like, that's hilarious.
Have you ever been hit by a woman?
Yes.
How'd you react?
Like shocked, and then like what? Like, but I always just contain myself. I'm just like, but it was always once, and it was kind of like and then like immediately said sorry. So
she said sorry.
Yeah. I
got hit by a woman. She didn't say sorry.
Oh wow.
She didn't say sorry. I got hit. She slapped me. I was 19. I remember. I was 19 years old, and she was 22, I believe, and she was friends with my cousin. And she was drunk, and I was like, "Okay, you're too." I was so proud of myself because I was like, "I'm 19, I'm being mature." I said, "You're too drunk. I'm just gonna go outside. I'm go to the car." And so I'm walking down, and I left my joke book inside the house. So I'm like, "Hey, I need to get my joke book," and she's like standing right in the in the doorway. I'm like, "I need to get my joke book," and then she's like yelling at me, drunk, and I'm like, "Could you please move?" Bow, slaps me.
Oh
and I
shit!
said, "Did she just slap me?" And I looked at my cousin. I said, "Yo," because my cousin's a girl. I'm like, "Yo." She just slapped me again. And I was like, I don't want her to keep slapping. So I was like, how do I get her to stop slapping me? And I was like, I'll threaten her. So I remember yelling, like, "You slap me again, third time's the charm." I remember thinking that was cool.
You said like an 80s
I know. I said the third time's the charm. I thought that was cool. And I was like, "You do, and you do." I'm just like threatening her. I'm like, "You do." I'm yelling, trying to be big, and then it worked. She stopped.
Oh, that's hilarious.
She stopped slapping me. And then she took my joke book and threw it out. And it was raining, so she ruined like, I used to write from 16, 17, 18, 19. So 4 years of me just like binders of like bits. Actually, that's why I stopped writing jokes, because she ruined it and she threw it out in the rain.
Now, what song did you listen to after that?
Oh man, I can't stop this rain. No. I made sure I didn't listen to any DMX or Tupac, because then I would have got my slap back.
Dude, there you go, man. DMX and
he'll get you hyped up.
DMX. Rest. Yeah, rest.
He gets you hyped.
Dude, DMX.
Yeah.
When I saw him, you saw him come out of Woodstock '99.
Oh, you talking about the red?
With the red, he had the red suspender.
Yeah, the suspender.
Dude, he had like 200,000 people going.
Got him
like
all hype.
Dude, he came out there. Yeah, he rest his soul. He lived in Yonkers. I was born in Yonkers, so I was a bit like him, the Locks.
Yeah.
But I remember like a DMX was somebody that was like, he came out, you felt it.
Yeah.
You felt the energy.
Who's the DMX of this right now?
There's none. See,
There's none,
There's
yeah.
not a. See, that's actually a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
question. There's not a new generation, a new era DMX because he was so different. He was so unique and honest, and he was just raw energy. He was just raw energy, you know.
I'm a chat GPT it, man. There's got to be who's a DMX of this generation. There's got to be somebody.
I mean, to come out with that, I don't know. I don't know who the, you know. Are you into country music at all?
Yeah, I love country music.
What would you
It's
say?
just R&B music.
What would you say the best era of country music was?
Oh,
Because a lot of people think now, because it's getting more mainstream now.
Yeah.
More people are into it now. But would you say that, or would you?
I mean, I don't listen enough to. I don't listen to enough country music to not think it's not now.
You think it's cause so for you, you'd have to say now.
Yeah, I would say now.
Yeah, because yeah.
What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Oh my gosh, you don't even want to hear their suggestions.
Well, who is it?
NBA YoungBoy,
Okay, no.
XXXTentacion, Pop Smoke, Meek Mill, yeah, Kodak Black,
No, you can't.
Travis Scott. And there's no DMX. Yeah.
Like somebody that came to mind was Travis Scott, but he doesn't have the. He has the crowd gets hype.
Yeah.
But he does. I'm talking about the.
Yeah, I know you don't. Yeah.
Him like.
Yeah.
DMX just had something came out of him.
Yeah, it was just kind of like you like he just you had like a respect for him. Like he's not like I'm not like I don't know. It's just he just seems like Travis Scott. I love his music, but he's kind of scrawny. You know what I mean? Like and DMX is just kind of like
Yeah, like Travis Scott, you didn't have like a fear of.
Yeah, that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like DMX, I'm like I ain't gonna step on the shoes.
Like 50 Cent, you had a fear of.
Yeah.
Like when 50 first came out, and like I remember my roommate was like, "Did you see that picture of him in a bulletproof vest holding a gun?" He's like, "That scared me." I was like, "Yeah, that's some." So here's what I would say: if we're talking music eras, I would say hip hop, 90s.
Yeah.
I would say overall songs. I think I'd have to say overall songs just would be 80s because you got Phil Collins, you got Prince, you got Michael Jackson, you got Madonna.
I would say that.
You got Madonna. I mean, all those icons. And then I think early 2000s there was definitely like a little kind of like a dance, like a feel like good. And then I think things kind of started to go down a little bit in like the mid 2000. Like
I just think it's like
2015.
we said with comedy, where it's like it's watered. When you have that much, it's like watered down.
Yeah.
You know, because there is good music now.
Yes,
There's good music, but anytime you find music you like, it's always like this alt.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like mainstream,
Right.
which is cool. It's great. You find new music, but I just feel like that it's just a lot. You know, it's just a lot.
It's a lot, man, and it really is like this is the only time in our. We say it all the time, but like this is the only time where somebody could sell at Madison Square Garden. Nobody knows who it is.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody knows who it is.
I know.
When I was when I was a little kid, if you sold out an arena, the whole world knew who you were.
Everyone knew.
Now they're like, who? Oh, so and so's that. Oh, so and so's that. And I guess that's a good thing because then you just get your pockets of fans that love you.
Yeah.
And they want you, and they're diehard for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not a big, you know.
Yeah, it used to be fun when you would drive and listen to the radio, and then you look, you know, you singing, and then you look next to you, someone else is driving, listen to the same song.
Yes.
It was nice. It was kind of like, hey.
Everybody, yes, same movie, lines from movies.
Yeah.
Now
yeah.
you could watch a celebrity get out of a limo, and everyone starts cheering. You're like, who's that?
Yeah.
But before it was like, oh, that's Prince.
Yeah.
Or somebody got, oh, that's so and so. Now you're like, oh, who is?
Yeah, everybody's famous.
Yes.
Everybody's famous.
Everybody's
Which
famous.
is cool, man. Like if you, I mean, whatever, you know, it is what it is. But it's just not as special. I think.
It's like the Tom Cruise movie stars.
Yeah.
And the Michael Jackson music. That's really rare.
It's gone, yeah.
That's kind of gone. Now it's just like you got your, oh, that's so and so. He's dope.
Yeah.
But you got to dig a little.
I mean, you got Michael B. Jordan, but like, you know, I mean, Michael B. Jordan. What's that other guy that he like the white dude? He's like very young.
Oh, Austin Butler?
No. Who's that?
As a matter of fact, Austin Butler and Michael B. Jordan are doing the new Miami Vice.
Oh, really?
They're gonna be
I don't know who Austin Butler is.
Yeah. He did.
He's
Elvis.
the guy in Dune.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
So like, there's a couple that you know that are like that get the put them in the biggest shit.
Yeah. What's that girl that was on with the she was in some jeans commercial or something that was controversial?
Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's kind of the new it girl.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm trying to think of who's the biggest musician right now. Who's the biggest musician right now? Like in this era of like 2020s. And I'm trying to think of, I guess, like maybe for the hip hop genre, it would be Travis Scott and Drake.
Yeah, Travis Scott, he did like something crazy in Italy or something like that. He did something like 170,000, something crazy.
I think if you Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, he's big.
So I think Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and Travis Scott in the 2000s, 20s. So there's 6 years of 2020s, right?
Yeah.
So there's 6 years. I would say if hip hop, Kendrick Lamar.
And what about Kanye? Do you count him?
Not in the 20s.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he just sold out.
No. I listen. He sold out for his past shit, but he had to. We can't really forget that anti-Jewish rant.
Oh,
that put him away for. But I'm talking 2020. So I'm talking the last 6 years of putting shit out, because that concert was from his old.
This recent concert?
Yeah,
Didn't he put out a new album?
I don't know.
He put out a new album like last week.
Oh, okay.
I think I just remember seeing like him, some video of him on The World. Did you see that?
Yes.
Yeah. So
what I saw him
Taylor
was
Swift. Okay, we're not talking about that. That's not hip hop.
But Taylor Swift is the biggest. No, I would say Taylor Swift. I would say that those three I mentioned. Kanye, yeah, definitely. 2006 to 2015, Kanye. I'm talking about like the last 5 years. Taylor Swift is probably the female musician of the fucking right now.
Yeah. She's Madonna.
She's Madonna.
Yeah, which is funny.
She's the Madonna of now.
She's a Madonna now. Okay, cool.
That's good. That's a good one. Yeah. That's definite.
Who's Michael Jackson?
I was thinking the Michael Jackson.
Because Michael Jackson, he did his thing, and then he just kind of like, he come out with some albums, but he's just Michael Jackson. So who would that be? Kanye?
You know who I thought was going to make a big run, and I think he's going through Justin Bieber, but I think the mental stuff.
Oh, man, I remember. Yeah.
Justin Bieber had because he started in it, when he did baby, oh, that was 90s, late 90s, or was that early 2000s?
Hey, man, he's still making bangers, man. He still makes bangers. I think his last album was pretty.
Oh, no, that was probably 2000s. Yeah, no, he still does. I like the, what's it called? My mama don't like you, she likes everyone. Yeah, he was actually. He's got like a really good voice. I think Janet Jackson's gonna make a comeback. I think she's gonna do
Janet Jackson.
I think Janet Jackson's gonna come back.
Nobody. I ain't trying to. I would though.
And then 70s is too. I know. Listen, for the older listeners right now, I know you're gonna be like, you're disrespecting the 70s. 70s is amazing.
Yeah.
70s is amazing. The Bee Gees.
That's why I think the 80s is so amazing, because. Listen, the 50s is like, right? And then the 60s, they stretch out, and then the 70s is like, they was getting good.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's when they start switching. And then the 80s, it's like, boom. You know what I mean?
So that's 100%. So I think you're 100% right. Because 70s is like Saturday Night Fever came out, and that Saturday Night Fever soundtrack like blew people away.
Yeah.
And then I think the 80s was like, you know what it was? The 70s staggered them.
Yeah.
And the 80s knocked them out. The 80s was like the Tyson.
Yeah.
Whereas just like bang.
And I feel like the 90s just kind of rode that wave.
And 90s kind of rode the wave into like a little new school 80s, but really cool. And then the 2000s, now it's over.
Oh, man. I wouldn't say it's over, man. I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean, though.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of Elvis Presley listeners pissed right now. Like, what about?
Oh, man. I never listened to Elvis.
My blue suede shoes.
I never listened to Elvis.
No, Elvis, there was a bunch. There was a bunch back then, but I think for our era, we definitely we nailed, plus 80s, don't forget 80s rock, man.
Yeah.
Like Def Leppard. And there was just so many like rock bands, Guns N' Roses, Def Leppard, all of that. I know I'm leaving out a ton of stuff. Plus, in the early 80s,
I remember Nickelback
AC/DC.
was a joke. I remember when I first started doing stand-up, everyone used them as a punchline, how Nickelback, I guess, was bad or whatever. And then I listened to a couple of their songs. I'm like, it's pretty good. You know what I mean?
But what about grunge? Grunge, too, like in the 90s was like...
What was some of the songs?
Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Pearl Jam. All those Seattle bands. Pearl Jam, Nirvana. There was also... they weren't from Seattle.
I did not know Nirvana was from Seattle, but how he died makes sense now.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
that makes sense, man.
Yeah, dude. But there was a lot of the Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
90s was like had the grunge. The 80s had the
What do you think about
hits.
sports, like the best form of sports? You think the 90s were the best sports? 2000s?
Yeah, I would say 90s into 2000s.
Yeah.
That's a whole other episode, but yeah.
I know.
Yeah, that's
Because I don't know if you have any gambling ads, but I think that ruins sports.
What's that?
Gambling.
Listen, I definitely think they got to keep an eye on it for sure.
Bro, it has. I mean, you got the ad. I don't want to ruin any sponsorships, but man, I'm like,
well, it's just got to be. I think it's something that really needs to be watched, and because I mean, dude, so many things have happened with point shaving in college back in the day in the '80s and shit. I could talk music with you forever. This has been great, man.
Yeah.
This has been great. Is there anything that you want to plug, man?
Oh, man, just, watch my special, Keep Preacher Weird on YouTube. And I don't know, watch my other special, Preacher. My name is Preacher, and I guess I need a new special without my name in it. I guess. But yeah, follow me on
Your next
social
one's
media.
Still Preaching.
I know, yeah, Still Preacher. Yeah.
No, but that'd be cool if like there was like everything
Yeah.
was just a different way to put Preacher in it.
Yeah.
But
my first one's Get to Know Me. So I mean that's.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Get to Know Me. And my name is Preacher. And Keep Preacher Weird. Because I filmed in Portland to keep Portland weird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, guys, check out Preacher because this dude is not only just a good dude, but super, super funny. And all the mutual friends we have have nothing but nice things to say about him. And yeah, man, you put the time in, you put the time and the work in. So it's like when the work is done, it's like when you're prepared, right? Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. And that's my favorite quote. And so check him out. And for your dates, you have a website?
Yeah, PreacherLawson.com. Come see me live.
Guys, check out Preacher on the road. Also, check me out on the road. I'm going to Detroit for the first time ever, headline Detroit at the new Mic Drop Comedy Club on April 24th and 25th. So you could check that out. I'm also going to Rosemont, Zanies in Rosemont, which is one of my favorite rooms in the country. That's going to be May 29th and May 30th. We're going to Point Pleasant, New Jersey in June. All my dates at paulvirzi.com. Go to my YouTube channel, guys, and click the subscribe button. Very easy. And also rate and review Paul's Best. It moves the show up, as you guys know. Thank you, guys. When you guys send in the comments, let us know what your favorite era of music is. I mean, me and Preacher pretty much just said it was probably, as far as iconic stuff, the 80s, but also you had the 90s and the early 2000s. But maybe, are we wrong? Because I know some of you are going to come and be like, what about now?
We're not.
Yeah, we're not.
We're not wrong. But you can try to, plead your case.
I know Jelly Roll's good. I know. I know Travis Scott is good, but that was our case, and we'll do another one in the future. We will see you guys next week. Thank you guys for listening.